Hello, welcome to Lorbeck Luxury Cars. I'm Harry, and on this edition of the Friday Drive, we're sort of looking back, I guess, at the 200 Friday Drives we've done and having a bit of a look at the highlights and I guess some of the lowlights as well. Not that there's ever been any lowlights, but more to look back at some of the incredible cars we've driven and give you a bit of insight as to what happens behind the scenes, for better or worse. So what was the most viewed video? Well, funnily enough, it was the 1988 VL Walkinshaw Group A SS, whatever it was. And that video, we managed to amass in total, I think it was a bit over 500,000 views. I'm not quite sure why, because a lot of the comments said that I couldn't drive. Strange, because I was double declutching and all those bits and pieces, but apparently I was just not a good driver and a terrible host and didn't do the car any favours. But putting all that aside, it was the most viewed video and still a video that people still talk about today. Which car did I get roasted for the most? Well, funnily enough, it was actually the Group A 1988 Walkinshaw as well. Like I mentioned, they said I couldn't drive, and there was a couple of videos, well, a couple of B-roll shots of me, you know, putting in the clutch and shifting gear, because that's what you do in a car like that. And everyone said that I didn't know how to drive a manual car. I'd say to all those people, you don't know anything. I do know how to drive a manual car. I was double declutching, and I can drive a manual. I can drive a non-synchro mesh manual, and I can drive any car without a clutch. Well, not from the lights, but after that, I can drive it without a clutch. So, to you. Funnily enough, the cars that I enjoyed driving the most was the Lamborghini Huracan, not the Performante. I like the Performante, but I prefer the standard Huracan. So there was a green one, the Kermit the Frog green one, so look back and watch that. The other cars I really enjoyed driving was the SL65 AMG, I think it was an 04, and any of the Range Rovers, well, Range Rover Vogues, I've always loved driving. And like I've always said, the supercars have never been my real thing, so, you know, horses for courses, you probably disagree with me on all of them, but, you know, it is what it is. So the most expensive car I've driven for the Friday Drive was, actually, I reckon it was our first Friday Drive. So the very first one was a 2004 Ferrari Enzo, and that's worth the $1 million and a bit. I'm trying to think what else I've driven that's over $1 million. I can't really remember. I mean, I've driven a lot of sort of $1 million cars, but only that one, I reckon, for the Friday Drive. Suffice to say, we didn't drive it very far. So what's the most terrifying car I've driven for the Friday Drive? Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly what it was, because I think the new happy owner of it wouldn't be too impressed. But let's just say it was a replica of an American Icon, and that thing was just undrivable. I mean, not that it was particularly powerful, but the thing just, it didn't want to go in a straight line. It was like it was put on caster wheels or something. It was absolutely shocking. And I was very glad to get out of it, because I was convinced I was going to kill myself if I stayed in it for 1 second longer. So the car that surprised me the most, to be perfectly honest, was the Kia Stinger of all cars. I mean, it sounds pretty humdrum, but you know, I got into that car without really sort of thinking anything of it. But that was a car I got in and I thought, why would anyone buy a Mercedes or a BMW when you can buy this for literally half the price? It was just a really good car to drive. It was a nice car to sit in, and it's a car that I'd recommend to anyone. Actually, I'm not sure if they still make them. I think they do, but if you can buy one, go and get one. It's a good car. I'm not going to tell you what the car is again, just because the new happy owner wouldn't be too impressed. So, but there's some B-roll which goes to this, which just shows why I didn't enjoy it. But it was an old American car, which I actually started out really enjoying. But the thing is, it had a bit of a design flaw where all the fumes from the exhaust would circulate in the cabin. And after about 10 minutes of driving this thing, I had to pull over and vomit. So that was good fun. What's the best comment I've ever had on one of the videos? Well, it's actually not really a glowing comment, but everyone remembers it, and I still get reminded of it every day. And it's this one from, let me find what his name is, or her name, I don't really know. the anonymity of Google's a wonderful thing, not if you're at the wrong end of it. From Marquis 9B, wherever you are, I'll find you one day. But anyway, if you're watching, I still remember your comment, and I do like it, and everyone here does. And it goes like this. Looks like a right tosser, and he is, just interested in himself. A complete knob. But this is the best bit. Don't fall for the pretty face and his perceived naivety. He's completely vacuous. The car is fab, just ask. The car is fab, just ask to buy it from someone else. If I was selling cars, that's probably a fair comment, but you made my day, you made my year. It was the best comment I've ever had, Marquis 9B, so I hope you'll comment again. So the car that we haven't driven that I'd most like to take out for a drive, I think would have to be the Automobili Pininfarina, which if you look closely enough, you'll see the sign up there. The full electric 1900 horsepower or something like that. That'll be a very interesting car. So hopefully we get one soon and I'll be able to take it out and give Marquis 9B something to talk about again. It usually takes about 3 or 4 hours to film a sort of 3 to 4 minute video, I guess. The only reason it takes that long is because I'm just completely stuffing everything up. I can never remember my lines and all that because of course you have a script. So if I was actually any good at this, I'd probably take 10 minutes or something like that. But anyway, it is what it is. Okay, so what cars do we have lined up in the coming weeks? Well, it's a bit hard to say because we were meant to do a Monaro, but that thing's sold. But we've got a few other classic Australian cars coming up, a few interesting Mercs and a couple of Ferraris. So there should be some good stuff coming up over the coming weeks. So thank you for being with us during all these Friday drives and supporting us at Lorbeck Luxury Cars and joining us in all the fun, bringing you these Friday drives. And, you know, like Marquis 9B, we welcome all your suggestions and we'd like some more ideas on what we can do to keep the Friday drive fresh and interesting even after 200 episodes. So thank you for joining us, and as always, we'll see you next week.